What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy Halucha Lucha, aka Matthew J. Brownlee, and I'm back with another Raw Talk, Raw Review. I'm back at it with the Raw Reviews. You know what it is. I ain't going nowhere. I'm coming back with it. So, it's Raw time. You know what you do, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And we're going to get into it. Before I get into it, um, you know, of course, I got my mic, the mic that's not hooked up. The one day I'm going to have to get my plug for it because I don't know what happened to it. I'm going to start writing notes again, starting probably on SmackDown because I, and um, SmackDown from yesterday, or what I did on Friday from yesterday, I couldn't remember a thing that I was doing with. There was a part from the Bloodline story that I thought that happened on there, but I wasn't really sure, and I kind of forgot, and I kind of stumbled a little bit. So there was a part where Sammy and Kevin were in the ring with the Usos, Solo, and Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman was pretty much like, um, in 2 weeks, I think he said 2 weeks, so either next week or the week after or something like that, the Usos is gonna face uh, Sammy and Kevin for the tag team championships again. It's gonna be, and he said, because we're tired. So he pretty much was like, because he's running his patience with the two of you. So when he said that, the Usos, nobody was really looking. So the Usos thought that they were talking about Sammy and Kevin. And he was tired of the two of them. But Paul Heyman was looking at the Usos. So he was pretty much talking about like the tribal chief is tired of the two of you. So if you lose, Solo's going to end both of your careers. So I couldn't remember if that happened on SmackDown or if it happened on that following Monday, but it was on SmackDown. So I say all that to say there's more SmackDown things that happen to carry over on Raw, like the Usos. They they came out still over. So I mean they're over. Their music hits and goes crazy. They come out with Solo and Paul Heyman. You know, they do their thing. The bloodline is now in your city. And they throw up the ones. Uh, they give the mic to Paul Heyman. And Paul Heyman pretty much says that there's unprecedented, 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 unprecedented thing that was going to happen during the show. So it was um, the Judgment Day coming out. So Paul Heyman was like, "Yeah, there's gonna be history that's unfolding." Judgment Day came out. Judgment Day came out. I was like, "Okay, hold up, we cooking with the Judgment Day in the Bloodline. Hold on, we like those. Put them in there. Give me a tag team match." And then I like that Damian Priest kind of stepped up a little bit. You know, he was looking at the Usos. The Usos was like staring him down, and then he looked at Solo. You know, they were staring at each other for a little bit. I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, let me put some judgment in now." Oh, I was hyped. And then uh, Paul Heyman was like, "Hey, relax, Solo. It's okay." And then he shakes Priest's hand, and then Paul Heyman announces that what happened was, you know, we both have problems. You know, we're both most dominant. You guys are dominant on Raw, I guess technically on SmackDown. We run SmackDown, but you guys to seem have this LWO problem, and we have this Kevin Owens, Sammy Owens, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens problem, and this riddle to solve for Matt Riddle. So it was approved by the tribal chief that, you know, for one night only, we will work together. And then Jey Uso takes the mic and was like, "Hey, yo, hold up, time out. we ain't know about this. Hey, you know about you gonna run this by us or something like that? And then Paul Heyman was like, well, Solo knew, because Solo, you guys, kind of out the loop. But this is just a testament, how much the Tribal Chief, um, you know, wants to put you guys on your toes and stuff like that. He tried to uh, finagle his way out of it. So he said for one night only, it's going to be Solo. Well, he said it was going to be in the main event. It was going to be the Judgment Day taking on Sammy Owens and and Matt Riddle in the main event. And right now it's going to be Solo Sikoa versus. I'm sorry, you're going to have to witness this. The Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio, and his music come out. Booyaka, booyaka, 619. It was great stuff. Um, Paul Heyman said, "It's very good. It's a very good day to be a bad guy. If there's a heaven, none of us are getting into it." And he says, I think the Judgment Day, uh, talks. There was a funny thing that they've done before where Rhea and Solo were just like staring at each other. They were like staring at each other the whole time. And then while Paul Heyman was talking, everybody was just looking at everybody was like, so Paul Heyman goes, "Hey Jay, do you mind switching with Solo for me for a thing?" And then so Jay goes, "Hey, switch." So they switch. Finn Balor like backs up, and then they switched again, and they just stared at each other again. They were like, "Okay." He was like, "Hey, do we?" He was like, "Hey, can we be on the same page?" And then Rhea was like, "For now." And they just continue staring at it. That was fantastic. That was good stuff. The opening segment was great. You started off hot with you intertwined the Judgment Day with the Bloodline and the Sammy KO stuff and the that you get everybody involved. Solo Sokoa versus Rey Mysterio, great match, fantastic match. Of course, Solo's going over. Um, I don't think I think the first half it was just them. I think then the Usos came out. Um, Usos came out, and then I think when they came out, Legato came out, and they jumped the Usos. Uh, Rey Mysterio hit a 619 and a splash, only to get a 2 count. Um, I think Solo hit like a Samoan drop for a 2. Um, but in the end, he tried to hit another. He hit another 619. He tried to go for another top rope splash. Uh, Solo moves out the way. Samoan spike. 1, 2, 3, and as he counts to 3, you can hear Solo saying thank you to Rey Mysterio because Rey Mysterio is the freaking goat. Even after being the Hall of Famer, being in the Hall of Fame, coming out, still giving out, taking L's to Austin Theory and the Solo. The guy is the goat, one of the best ever. Love me some Rey Mysterio. And then in the end, not the Judgment Day, the Bloodline, they attack Judgment Day. They attack LWO, beat them all up. And that was the end. That first, hour maybe, 45 minutes to an hour. Fantastic stuff, fantastic opening. And then there's more later. I think in the background, I think they were with, Adam Pearce was with like Chad Gable, Maxine Dupree, and Otis, and they were talking about the draft that they need to be together. And then he was like, no, they should ship Gable off by himself, and then he should be with us. It was a whole thing. He was like, we'll figure that out. He was like, I got Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes. I got the Judgment Day, LWO bloodlines things going on. Like I can't worry about that right now. Just everybody leave. And then it was like, thank you. And then they all left. I think Chad Gable's going to SmackDown by himself. I think Otis is going to Raw. I think they're going to have Chad Gable give him his run that he so rightly deserves. Is going to be great. I'm going to love it. Next up, they had Bianca Belair versus Dakota Kai. Kind of talk about the crumble, the starting the crumble. to going in on damage control. Good again, solid match. Nothing bad about the match. They give Dakota Kai her time to be a singles wrestler. The whole thing about damage control was Bailey was the singles person. She let them shine in the tag team division, but she wanted the solo. She wanted to do the solo thing. They became two-time tag team champions. She, faced Bianca plenty of times. Wasn't able to beat her. She did the thing with Becky Lynch, couldn't beat her. So now, she's back in her thing. Was like, hey, I want to go back to being top champion or being back in my groove. And they're just like, no. So now I feel like Bailey's in this thing. Was like, okay, I'll try to please them. I'll give them what they want. But when it doesn't work out for them, it's like, I told you so. You couldn't hang with them, and I told you. This is one of those instances. Um, there's a lot of use of the hair. Um, Corey and KP was putting over Io Sky and Kai wanting to have individual spotlight. Being a tag team. So that's that's how that going. You can tell Bailey's look is like every time Bianca had the upper hand. Bailey would look. She was like, oh, come on, Dakota. Stuff like that. There was a part where Bianca was gonna go for a KOD, but she grabbed her hair and she pulled it down. She did like this nice pin thing. She tried to go for the scorpion kick, but she didn't do that. There's a lot of solid back and forth for it. I think this was mostly thing for like the demise of damage control more than the match because you could tell throughout was going throughout the match. And in the end, Bianca of course wins with the KOD, and Io and Bianca kind of locked eyes with each other. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to have the match like next. I don't. I think where are we in? We're in April 18th. So I'm curious if they're going to have the match in Puerto Rico or if they're going to have the match like next week or the week after, like the week before. Something happens and then they don't win, and then maybe Asuka or somebody like attacks her, and they set up a match for Puerto Rico. I don't know if that's what they're gonna do. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do. Even with the draft, so it'll be interesting to see if they like do it on draft day, and then Bianca wins. She stays on Raw. Maybe one of them splits to SmackDown or something like that, and they do like a trio thing. And then maybe Asuka comes back and he attacks her, and then, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but that'll be interesting for that to see what happens with all that. Uh, Next up comes Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes comes out. Hey, what do you guys want to talk about? Guys dressed in street clothes, um, and pretty much Cody Rhodes says. Um, He knows what he wants to talk out. He wants to bring out Brock Lesnar because he's, normally, Cody Rhodes is dressed to the nine. Always in suit. This time, the man got the sweatpants. He got the tank top on. Adam Pearce comes out. Was like, hey, no, this is not happening. We're not doing this. You're not medically cleared. And in my mind, it's like, but he wrestled Seth Rollins and beat him with the torn pec. So why does it matter if he's medically cleared? Doesn't matter. Um, Brock Lesnar, like a whole bunch of security comes out. He beats up security. Brock Lesnar comes out. He's like, okay, now we're ready. Now I'm ready. He was like, come on, Cody. He beats up all the security, gets a chair, uh, beats up more security. And then he goes after him. More security comes out. He beats up all the security. And then Brock Lesnar leaves. And then Brock Lesnar leaves. He goes back in the ring. He's like, you know what? I respect you. That's okay, Pierce. You're fine. Brock Lesnar, you're not a cowboy. I know a cowboy. You're not one. You're a coward. And then he leaves. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was excellent. People are one specific person on Twitter complaining about it because of why are they not fighting each other? And it's like, for me, it's like, so what are they going to do? They're going to fight each other. He's going to explain why he did it. And then what are you going to do in Puerto Rico? Because Adam Pearce did, he said the match is his final in Puerto Rico. He's like, well, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? Do more brawls and stuff like that? So I think you let it breathe. Next week, maybe you do a brawl, an actual brawl. Maybe he comes back out. Brock Lesnar comes, F5s, beats him up, do some more beating up, and then the next week he comes like, hey, this is why. Or maybe they'll just brawl or whatever, and then they maybe face to face. They'll be like, I attacked you because of this. And then they get set for Puerto Rico, and that's probably going to be your main event. Backstage, I think do it. Oh, backstage they did two things backstage. With the final thing before the main event. Um, I guess I'll talk about that when it comes. So we ain't gotta worry about that. Elsewhere, Miz and Seth Rollins just randomly put on a freaking banger. Just just put on a banger. Miz comes out, um, and Seth Rollins comes out, does his whole, whoa, and then Miz attacks Seth Rollins from the start. And then they put on a banger. I knew they put on a banger when I saw freaking Miz do like a lawnmower on the second rope. Miz was caught on the second rope, and then Miz said, "Boom!" Double knees to the face. Miz hit like double like DDTs. He hit like one the DDT he normally does. He hits one of those, floats over beautifully. Boom! Hits another one. Uh, 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 Seth Rollins goes on the top rope for a frog splash. Gets the knee. Miz gets the knees up, rolls over smoothly for two. Yeah, this. Yeah. Miz was on one last night. This was a great. Unfortunately, there was no story. There was just a thing. Uh, in my mind, this all has to do with the draft stuff. In my canon, it has to do with draft stuff. Um, and they said that later for another match. I think we're about to talk about. Yeah, we're about to talk about that next. But I think this this ties the bow with um, the Seth and Miz thing from after WrestleMania. Seth and Miz had this thing with Logan Paul going into it, and then Seth, he beat Logan Paul, and then in the end he goes like, "Hey, this is my last chapter. It's the Miz. After that, I'm done with the Logan Miz stuff. It's over." And then for Miz, at WrestleMania, he wants his respects. He got blindsided by Pat McAfee with Snoop Dogg, and then the second night he got it's also with Snoop Dogg and maybe Shane McMahon, but that wasn't a thing. So maybe this was him proving it was like, hey, nah, this is y'all gonna put respect on my name. I'm the goat. I'm one of the goats. You putting respect on my name. I need y'all to do that. So that's probably what his mindset was on. In the end, Falcon Arrow, top rope superplex, Falcon Arrow, stomp, 1, 2, 3, fantastic match. Next up, another great match was the rivalry between Bobby Lashley and Austin Theory. Again, um, more of the stuff with the draft. They're saying Kevin Patrick on commentary said. Um, they had a rivalry, and it said that former might be the last time. Oh yeah, Bobby Lashley might be the last time he gets his hands on a U.S. champion before the draft. So the last time they faced each other, I think Lashley was about to win, and then something. I think Austin Theory cheated or something, and then Brock Lesnar came in the fold. So I think this was their last. Trying to be their last thing. Like, hey, this is it. No more after I beat you, non-title match, I could get drafted, and then that's the end of the story. But it wasn't the end of the story because Bronson Reed had a video package earlier to talk about him being a nice guy, about his mom being a nice guy. So that's what he's gonna be. He's gonna be Mr. Nice Guy, Bronson Reed. They have a solid back and forth, and then in the end, Bronson Reed, boom, splashes both of them. throws the match out. This is where it makes sense when you throw the match out. You do this, throw the match out, and then Bronson Reed just like beats up Bobby Lashley all over the place. They go back in the ring. Bobby Lashley's about to hit the Hurt Lock on him, and then Austin Theory comes in. I think drop kicks Bobby Lashley, and then hit him with a Samoan drop. Tsunami, baby. And that was it. That was good stuff. We like those, and then crowd reacted to Bronson Reed. So, do I this Bronson Reed if they do a triple threat maybe at um that the not Backlash, yeah, Backlash. Maybe Bronson Reed might pick up that title. Either Bronson Reed is gonna pick up that title or Austin Theory is gonna retain. We're gonna see what happens, but maybe Bronson Reed picks up that U.S. title, and then maybe him and Bobby Lashley have one last match for the title. Bronson Reed wins. Bobby gets shipped off to SmackDown, and then maybe Gunther, for the Intercontinental Championship. Ooh, sheesh. That'd be great. That'd be great. So that was good stuff. Next up is Trish Stratus. She comes out. Oh, it's time to rock and roll. This time I'm in control. I got the keys to the city. So she pretty much explains why she attacked Becky Lynch. She said, first of all, let's go back. Let's run the tape. Your girl, Trish Stratus, me, I invented women's wrestling. Pretty much. That's pretty much what she said. She was like, no, not me and Lita. Don't say Lita. No, it wasn't her. It was me. All me. Nobody cared about women's wrestling. Me. I did it. All me. And she said, just to let you know, by the way, I am the one who attacked Lita. Yes, so you guys are unaware. It was me. I had to get her out the picture. So she pretty much said what I thought she did. She's the one that purposely cost them the tag team championships and then beat her up. She said, when I first started in WWE, the women's division was a joke. I was the first woman to make you people give a crap about the women's division. Without me, there would be no women's revolution and certainly no women in the main event of WrestleMania. I took out Lita. The reason I needed Lita out the picture is because I needed to be crystal clear that the person who screwed Becky Lynch out of her title was me. She goes on to say, I'm not a nostalgia act. I'm your childhood fantasy. I'm not your childhood fantasy, and I'm damn sure nobody's sidekick. I am the most important figure in the history of WWE, and I'm here to make sure none of you guys forget it. So she also talked about pretty much saying that when, as much as she loves Lita, she stood next to Lita. She was doing the dance with Becky, and she was like, that's a sidekick. She said, I'm not nobody's sidekick. Um, so yeah, this was fantastic. The thing that makes a good heel is somebody who believes in their things. And, you know, she believes that she is the best women's wrestler. She's the one that paved the way for others women's wrestler. And she thinks, and her words, the four horse ladies, uh, were the ones who made women's wrestling a thing, and she said no, it was me, and I she's right. I think she's right. Um, and then unfortunately, they did a lot of piped in crowds because they were doing the what chants, which sucked, but it was what it was. I still think this was a solid segment. Good for Trish, and it looks like she's going to be back. They might do maybe they might do her and Lita at Oh, you know what they might do? No, they might do. They might do Bianca and Trish at Puerto Rico. Maybe Trish, maybe something happens, whatever. Bianca, um, Lita comes back, costs Trish the match. Bianca wins, and then maybe they do Trish Lita at Money in the Bank. Trish wins that. Trish beats Lita, and then Becky comes back. They do Trish and Becky at SummerSlam. Um, Obviously, Becky wins, and they do that. Maybe they might give her one of those things. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, good stuff from that. Next up, tag team match. The tag team champions are out watching Sonya and my girl Chelsea Green, complaint department, versus Michin, Mia Yim, and Candice LeRae. It was fine. It was what it was. Um, in the end, they win with the unprettier. Chelsea Green gets the win with the unprettier. Um, yeah, it was what it was. It was fine. They're trying to just get for their match, I think, which is on Friday. Um, in the end, they come out, they splash water on Liv Morgan, and they leave. So yeah. Backstage stuff that's happening. Um, they do a thing where Cody Rhodes talks with Kathy about Brock Lesnar. Let me just see where that was real quick. Um, nope, not that. Um, I don't remember what it was, but yeah, they did a Cody Rhodes and Kathy Kelly did a backstage segment. Uh, they did some more stuff with the draft, where Boogs is like freaking out about them not being together, and the Street Profits come out and they're like, "Hey, you guys will be all right. Boogs, you're great. Elias, you're cool too." So apparently, Boogs is definitely gonna get in first, and then Elias maybe sometime way down the line last. Corbin comes out. He was like, "Hey, they also split up tag teams. And then they were like, "Nah." He's like, "We should probably talk to Pierce." Um, and then Karen Tozawa comes out. I was like, "Hey, Boogs, you're great. Elias, you're gonna be last." And then Corbin comes back. Ah, that was great. He was like, you're not gonna even get drafted." And then he leaves. It was like, "Oh, why did you?" He was like, "Why do people like that to me?" So that was good stuff. And then also after that, they also did a thing with um, Judgment Day. Judgment Day did. They were back there. They were talking a little strategy, and then Paul Heyman comes in. He was like, "Hey, we handled the problem. What did you think?" And then Priest goes to Finn. He was like, "Hey, what do you think?" And and Finn goes, "Eh." Paul goes, "Eh." He was like, "Yeah, just eh." He was like, "Look, we took care of the call Roman Reigns." "Yeah, Roman. They said I'm eh." He goes on. That was hilarious. They did a thing with the Usos. The Usos did like a little backstage thing with Solo. They was like, "Hey, uh, LWO new tag team, you stepped up. Good for you. We took you out. Uh, everybody were taking out Sammy and KO. They're gonna handle that problem. We're gonna handle the problem, pretty much." And then they did a backstage thing with KO, Sammy, and Riddle, and and then Riddle and KO was like, or Sam was saying to KO was like, "Hey, you got some ideas." Matt Riddle got some ideas, and then Owens is like, "You sure you got ideas?" Like, "Hey, look, no offense, Riddle, maybe we should get some ideas." He was like, "No, no, we said it, we would listen to him." And then Kevin Owens was like, "I never agreed to that." He was like, "Yeah, yeah, you hear that Solo got the Samoan spike, his fingertip got the Samoan type. Maybe I tape my foot, my big toe, and I kick him, and I call it the toe bro or bro toe or something like that." And they was kind of looking at each other. It was like, "Wait, what? Really?" It was like, "No, you think I was joking? You think I was playing?" It was like they came back. It was like, "I didn't come back to play games." They came out and they beat me. They took me out, took out my best friend. They took out my partner, tried to end my career. Like, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna beat that. I was paraphrasing. He didn't say that, but that's pretty much what I was like. Okay, Riddle, yeah, we like those. So that was the main event with Judgment Day and them. Again, great main event, good stuff. We like all those. I think the Usos came out again to like try to help Judgment Day. Then LWO came out to beat them up. Yeah, this was all great stuff. I think this was fantastic stuff. Um, let's go through some of the notes. That was my wrong phone. Where's my phone? Oh, it's right here. You're right. Um, Uh, Notes. Um, yeah. So they. Yeah. So. Oh yeah. So they did. So they was doing some stuff. Kevin Owens was like wrestling on with 1 foot or something like that because I think they was taking out his foot. He comes on the outside. Rhea Ripley like clotheslines him, takes him out for a little bit. Um, Rhea Ripley tripped up Zayn, but the ref saw that finally, and in the end, which was very protective of Finn Balor, even though he was the one that was saying it was he's the one that got pinned, but they, it was stunner, and then also Damian Priest got stunned because he tried to get in, stunner him, haluva kick, floating bro on Finn Balor, all three to get the win, and then Usos come out, and then the LWO come out, and the LWO get the upper cut, so they get their heat back from what happened earlier in the match. They take out the Bloodline, they take out Judgment Day, so they're the ones that are standing tall. So good show. It was a good show. I'd give the show myself. I think the show was like an A. Honestly, it was really good. The opening, the end, the Miz versus Seth Rollins match, all the stuff that they're doing with the draft, the stuff with Brunson Reed and Lashley and Theory, that was good stuff. The promo with Trish Stratus was good. The women's matches, they got two women's matches, so that was good. So all in all, I'd give the show an A minus, whatever. It was a very very good 3 hours. It went by quick. Um, so I still think that LWO needs some wins. Hopefully, this will be part of them. You know, it's always a good thing where it's not just one team. Back in the Attitude Era, where Triple H was a part of, you had storylines going, intertwining everywhere. Now I think with the addition of Judgment Day and LWO mixed with the business of Bloodline and the other one, Sammy KO and Riddle, I think this is a recipe for everybody to be over. Um, a note says that the management, Triple H and them, have managed to not only lift up Sammy and KO, but with the Bloodline, Riddle, Judgment Day, and LWO. So I personally think that you get LWO like Joaquin Wilde and Toros. You get them versus the Usos. Uh, you let LWO get a W. I think you let them get a W there. I think you do maybe Solo versus Damian Priest because that was a thing that they was doing. I think you throw in whatever you do. I think you intertwine all of that on SmackDown. I think you let them get a win, let them get a huge win, and then maybe the following week you do like a Judgment Day Usos thing after. I don't know. You can do a lot of things with them, but I'm interested. I'm curious. I liked it. Made you wanting more for SmackDown because they're all going to be on SmackDown. Plus, Roman will probably also be on SmackDown. The title matches that they're going to have, IC title match and the women's tag team title match. Yeah, SmackDown's looking to be a classic. It's going to be a classic to see what's gonna happen. So I'm going to be interested in that. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out.